Hello everybody, Elijah here with you all to another Epic 7 video, and it's that time of the year where I do another account review for the Insight season. Yes, the Insight season is over. We're currently in the preseason. It's been a minute since I made a video, to be completely honest, but I am back and we're doing an account review. But before we even get into this account review, let me know in the comments what was your MVP and most used unit throughout this season, the Insight season. Let me know in the comments right now. Go ahead, open the comments up, comment down below, let me know what was your top pick unit that you used the most. We are here on epic7.gg.onstove.com to find out what mine is. I'm sure it should be pretty updated by now. But yes, if you haven't used the match history feature, I would highly recommend you doing so just because it's very helpful. It's very informational. It gives you, you can look back at different matches that you did. Apparently, I'm gold currently. I haven't even done my placements fully, but it is what it is. And you can see your Insight season. You can also see the previous seasons and things like that. Well, since they have added this feature, we can't go that far back, but yeah. And as you can see, I am a Lua abuser, very much so. She is probably my most, or she is my most played unit. That's her win rate. My Spectre is second, but the win rate's a little questionable because when Abyssal Euphine came into the meta, I just started losing to that unit a million times over. And I kept trying to force pick Spectre and then losing horribly, and that's probably why there's a negative win rate there. And then Abyssal Euphine is also another unit that I tried to force pick a lot, and RNG was not on my side, and I lost there. But DDR was also another MVP for me, as well as Last Rider Krau is my main pick knight. If I'm going to pick a knight in a draft, I'm picking Last Rider Krau over any of the other knights in the game because they synergize very well with the units that I have here. So yeah, that's all of my main units that I use throughout this season and my win rates and things like that if you are curious. But let me know yours down in the comments below. Alrighty, let's get things started. For starters, we have Edward Elric. This is his build. I used him 2 times, if that. I nerfed his gear and his artifact because I needed Cigarette Scythe on somebody else. I don't know who it's on currently, but his gear had to be moved around. Anyway, these are his stats for the most part. And yeah, very okay unit. I think when DDR started coming to the meta, it made it a little bit harder to draft Edward because even though he is good into some debuffs, if you overwhelm him with debuffs, he become it's hard for him to survive. And then Venom applying injury and things like that, it makes him a lot weaker. So again, if he gets overwhelmed with debuffs, then he just loses. Jacko, I don't really cleave. I mean I've been doing it in the preseason because it's the preseason and you kind of do whatever. But these are her stats. She could be a lot faster with similar stats, maybe a lot higher attack. But yeah, she's on her own artifact because I just so happen to have it at plus 30 because why not? I Winter. I don't really use this unit that much. Her effectiveness should be a lot higher to actually be able to debuff a Destina, but I really could care less because she's kind of a pocket pick, if anything, for certain drafts where I know Winter is going to be very impactful and can control their entire team. But other than that, I don't really use this unit too much. Kayron is was my best of slot anti-cleave DPS until they released that new 4-star unit that just removes immortality just for free. Sucks to suck, I guess. But he was typically my main draft unit into many cleave teams. But now can't really do that anymore because yeah, that one girl, that one chick that just removes immortality. So that sucks. But the times where she isn't drafted, I can still pick him for the most part. Beehoo is who I use to deal with Midnight Gala Liliases and just Briarwitch Iserias. I think he should be on Guiding Light because I think it would be a lot better just for him to have his own self-protection so that because he is slow, 270 isn't that fast. So him being on Guiding Light means that if some unit is faster, he won't just get sniped out and killed. So yeah. But I love using Beehoo when I get the chance to use him. He's a lot of fun. Nahkwol, somebody who I'm actually surprised wasn't in like my top 5 most picked units because I used her a ton. I think the the issue is that I lost also a ton with her as well. So, you give it or you take, right? Um, love this unit. Very, very good control unit. I typically draft around controlling the enemy team, so very, very best in slot unit for me personally and how I draft and just my play style. Love using this unit. Excited to use her more into the next season and things like that. But these are her stats. Lower speed just for more effectiveness. Politis, she has random gear pieces on for the sake of just being there. She has no HP, which I mean, that kind of sucks, but she has a lot of defense. So if I pair with somebody that has a barrier, that it just grants a barrier, she still has a little bit of, survivability. But, like, I would have to pair with, like, Fallen Cecilia or something like that in order to have that survivability. So there's that. Choux, yeah, these are her stats. Very annoying unit. Didn't really use her as much. I would only pick her if they picked Ed. She's like a really good like anchor into Ed teams who try to like counter debuffs and things like that. She's really really good into that situation. And because I play control, I go up against a lot of Edwards, right? Like I just do, right? So Choux is a really really good unit to have in the back burner just to use her when necessary. Lethe, she actually was ungeared in the beginning of this season and then re-geared after I couldn't really deal with Abyssal Euphine at all, as well as ML Landy, who I still permaban because I still can't deal with that unit. Um, yeah, Lethe is really, really good. A really good counter pick to certain, Abyssal Euphine drafts or things like that. Just like she could like solo those Arowell, Destina, Abyssal Euphine comps, like really, really good unit into that. ae-KARINA. These are stats. Her stats hasn't changed ever. She has no effect resistance, but she is good when she works. She is kind of one of those units that a lot of people like don't like to deal with, are very, very annoying. But again, because she does have very low effect resistance, I cannot draft her into a team that has a lot of debuffs because she will get debuffed like 100% because like that's not enough effect resistance. Tywin. I actually did use Tywin a couple times this season, purely for his passive, the whole immune to stun and sleep, and he makes the backline unit, or like he cleanses the backline unit when they get stunned or slept, and that is a really, really good thing to have. He's not a knight that you will be able to use often, but into certain teams, it's very helpful to protect a certain DPS to have a unit like this. So yeah, I wish they had a Tywin or like a not a Tywin, but like I wish they had it to where it also procced on silences as well. Like that would be a really good like way to deal with Zeos. If that was also the case, but I don't know if they will ever, maybe add an EE that makes it so that it also works for silences and things like that. I don't know. Or just make a new unit that does that as well. That could also work out. But yeah. Lua, my most picked unit of the RTA season. She is slow, but she's on Guiding Light, so it doesn't even matter. The thing about it is, Guiding Light openers that are, like you don't really have to worry too much about their speed too much. You just have to worry about how you draft them, right? Like I always draft Lua in a way that I know I'm gonna go first, or I would immediately go after their opener, and I wouldn't get punished because I'm on Guiding Light. So that's kind of how I deal with a lot of Rand cleaves. I will get rid of their bridge, so then Rand goes, and then my Lua goes, and then she controls their entire team. So that's how I kind of work around that with my gear being a slower account. Like I don't have the fastest gear in the world, but it is what it is. It works out. It worked for me this season. Lua, I don't even know what they're gonna do. Maybe that new Dragon King Sharun might be the answer to Lua. Another like counter pick in a way to like Lua drafts probably. But again, who knows? We'll just have to see when that unit comes out. Seaside Bellona, don't really use her, but she's geared just in case. Just in case. Aria, started to use her a lot towards the end of the season as like a pocket pick, And I paired her with Christy, who I'll go into later, but she's fun. Like, I like using Aria. Like, I think she's a fun unit. Her play style, like, protect the Aria type of draft, right? Like, it's a lot of fun. So I really like to use this unit, and I hope to get to use her more in the next season, or even during the preseason. Arunka, I tried to force pick this unit like I think 10 times and lost all of them. But initially she was on speed boots. She was a lot faster, and then I wasn't doing enough damage. So then I put her on attack percent boots to make her do more damage, but now she's squishier and slower, so she doesn't take the turn. So it just isn't working out, right? I don't know what to do about Arunka. You have to really play around this unit to like, you know, CR push and things like that. Maybe an Amit cleave plus with using Arunka as like the cleave could work potentially. I don't know. But then again, Amit's giving like crit damage stats and stuff like that, which isn't necessary on this unit. But I don't know. Zahhak, I don't really use this unit. He kind of fell off. Once people started building their Aidens super tanky and pairing it with Arowell so they have that really thick barrier, Zahhak kind of fell off because now you have to build him slower with higher damage. Like my Zahhak does not have high enough damage to be able to deal with that. And when you're building him slower, then you have to deal with like other units in the draft that could just outspeed him and snipe him out and kill him. So there are a lot of times I've dealt with Zahhaks nowadays that are slower but higher damage, but they also are a lot squishier, so they just die, right? I just kill them before they have a chance to kill my, um, my mid, not a mid. What is you know what the thief is? Aiden, that's who it is. Did I say a mid earlier? Did not mean to say that, but Aiden in Guild Wars it still works out pretty fine, but overall in like RTA settings, it's very hard to draft Zahhak without getting like beat up by everything else. This is my Senya. She is on a ER build. I know most people have Senyas on life still now, but I just don't have the gear for it. But this is what she's rocking at the current moment. Christy, I love this unit. A lot of fun. I know her specialty change didn't really like help her too much with all the problems that she does have, but she is really good into like as a way to deal with Zeos. I've seen people use Christy as like they have Christy plus G Purge and then 2 units that are stealth, and they essentially make it so that Zeo has to hit G Purge or Christy. Either one is going to CR push the team up, or at least the person in the back row, and then they, kill the rest of his team. So that's kind of like a draft that I've seen used a lot. I've tested it out, I've tried to use it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. Christy, really cool unit when she works. Midnight Gala Lilias, these are her stats. She has enough damage to deal with most Last Rider Kraus, which is like what I need. But there's every now and then you'll meet somebody who has like a Last Rider Krau that has like 30k HP for who knows why. Why do you have a Last Rider Krau with 30k HP? I don't know. But to those people, it's a little tricky. They like live like a sliver of HP, but other than that, she kills most knights that are like most of the knights she'll kill. I wish she was faster, like the same damage, but again, some dead stats here and there. Her HP is super low because there's no HP anywhere in her gear, other than the ones that where it has to be. But I pretty much made it so that she has no HP, like anywhere. Yep. So all the HP is gone. So yeah, there you go. Then we have a Violet, very niche pocket picky unit. There are still people who draft Rand and Ida, and when they do draft Rand and Ida, I just slap in Violet. Easy game, and I just win, right? Or they have to ban it, right? So there's that. Landy, don't really get to use Landy that much. I think most people build their Landy super fast. Like a 270, 280 speed Landy is like ideal Landy at the current moment. And they use it as a way to deal with Luas. So there's that. I don't really have a speed Landy, and I don't really want to give her the gear to do so. Destina, a pretty solid Soul Weaver forever and always. Really good. She's been good since like the beginning of the game, to be honest. Well, she like fell off, and then she came back after they like buffed her. But yeah, Destina, solid Soul Weaver. Ocean Breeze at Luluca. I don't really use her too much, but she is geared just in case I need a unit like her. She still is like very oppressive in the right situations, but don't really use her too often. And we have Roana. Everybody loves Roana. She just slap on random gear. She does her job when you do draft her. So there's that. Don't know why she's on Doctor's Bag. I think I would prefer to be on like Idol Shield or something, but I don't know where my Idol Shield is currently, so we're just gonna go on. Sharun, she is missing a sword, but I don't really draft her anymore. I actually know where her sword is. I gave it away to a different unit, but she fell off after Mediator Calric kind of fell off. Nobody really drafts Mediator Calric anymore, and because of that, nobody drafts Sharun anymore, so there's that. Conqueror Lillias, she has so many counters now that I don't even know why anybody would still draft her, to be completely honest. I probably would have give her gear away at some point, but she is on my guild defense, so that's why she's still here and geared, but I don't know, things are changing. Conqueror Lillias meta is very much dying out and ending. General Purrgis, a very niche pick. I use him to trap Zeos essentially, and he's on counter set so that the off chance that he does counterattack and provoke is really nice. The same thing for Christy as well. She was also on counter set for that chance to counterattack and provoke. So there is that. Here's my Lionheart Cermia. She is built full damage. There's nothing much to say there. She's just, you know, she's on immunity. Most people probably would be like, there's no reason for it, and I do get that, but hear me out. Because she's on immunity, and she grants herself, you know, when she procs, she gets the defense buff and the effect resistance buff. If there's somebody that dispels 2 buffs, or just dispels a buff, the odds are you're probably not going to lose a defense buff, you're going to lose the FRS buff, or the immunity that she has, which is really, really nice. In a lot of situations where you don't want to lose your defense buff because you want to do as much damage as possible. So there's that. That's why she's on immunity. It's totally not because my immunity gear just so happened to roll like this. It is because of this, by the way. But yeah, she is on immunity. Ambitious Tywin. I use him to deal with Luas because I have him on Bastion for the immunity and barrier, so I get to protect a unit in the back line, preferably a stealth unit, like my Nahkwol or something. Like she'll be in the back line so that she goes after the Lua to then control the rest of the team. So there's that. Then we have my Belian, who is on the speed effectiveness build with the Lance artifact to deal with Zeos. You see there's a common trend. I have a lot of units that are geared around dealing with Zeo because for the longest I didn't own Zeo. So I had to like build my account around being able to fight Zeos because I didn't own him. So another one of those picks that I had geared up for Zeo because I didn't own Zeo. Then we have Crimson Armin, who I geared. She is speed tuned to be slower than Abyssal Euphine, but again, I don't really like playing that draft. That whole Crimson Armin, Destina, Abyssal Euphine draft. It's worked sometimes, but like I don't know. I still don't fully understand how to play it well because I just get counterpicked a lot when I do that draft and I lose. I think most people know how to play against it, so there's that. Last Rider Krau, gear has not changed. This is my like favorite knight to use if I am going to use a knight. Typically don't because I play very aggressively now, but you know, he is still geared. Love this unit. Do not like his skin though. I do have his RTA skin. Not a fan of it, sorry. Love the classic, the base, way more. We have Arowell. Again, I don't really play slow, so I don't use this unit. I think I would want her to be on counter set if I was going to use her with like the similar stats, but on counter set, but don't really farm Banshee too often. Well, now I farm Rift, and I don't farm counter sets at all, so there's that. Savior Adin, she's still on a speed build. She is on this artifact, but I do pre-ban her a lot, actually, so don't really have to deal with this unit because or don't have to worry about changing her build because I one, pre-ban her a lot of times, and 2, don't use her. So this is our gear for, I guess, Guild Wars, if anything. Then we have AOL. She was ungeared, and then she got re-geared after so many people were using her until Abyssal Euphine. So I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should gear her to try to do that, and then it didn't work out. So I don't know. Everybody else's AOL works perfectly, mine doesn't, but it is what it is. It's, you know, it's just debuffers in a nutshell. You'll never have high enough effectiveness, you'll just get 50% it happens, right? This is my Architect Laika. She's probably one of my biggest, like, heavy damage dealers I have at the current moment. Uh, I got her in the middle of the season, I think, like, randomly summoned her during one of, like, the 77 Covenant free summons, so she has, like, all of my premium, for the most part, speed DPS gear, because, like, I don't have much of it, because you know, like, I don't have much high speed gear to begin with, so a lot of my fastest pieces are spread out very, very thin. I have a bunch of mid-range speed units, like, units from the range of, like, 250 to, like, 80, 90, somewhere along there. But beyond that, like, I can't, like, break that, like, 300 speed, like, gear score or that speed threshold, or else I would have to, like, give all my best pieces to one unit, and it would only be on that one unit, so, yeah. Then we have Sage Ball and Sazan. He has way too low effect resistance to really be used. He will still get debuffed by Zeos, so it is what it is, right? I compare it with Christy, but people are just gonna ban Christy, which, like, I guess is nice. Like, it allows me, like, it's like a forced ban, essentially, if they have to ban Christy. Like, that's the only way he's gonna have enough effect resistance to withstand, like, getting debuffed by effective Zeos. So, there's that. He is my anti-cleave unit that I use sometimes when I feel as though it is optimal to do so. Solitaria, she kind of fell off, but again, she's one of those units that will always come back because of her passive. You know, because she has a remove focus, like, she will always be relevant, even when she's not relevant. So it just depends on the meta. Right now, we're dealing with a whole bunch of fighting spirit, so again, she's not really used too often, and the fact that Abyssal Euphine can, like, she would just feed into Abyssal Euphine, essentially, which is not ideal. So, yeah. Maybe with the changes in the new Arvela, or I don't even remember what her name is, a new vampire chick, maybe you can pair those two together and do like a full debuff team, and now they can't do anything, right? They don't have focus and they don't have fighting spirit and they just get debuffed to death. So that could be a cool draft that ends up coming out in the future in the next season. We have Sylvan Sage Vivian. Don't use her too often unless I'm dealing with Spectre Tenebrias. She's like a good AoE unit. She does enough damage that her initial S3 without most Spectre Tenebrias will die if they don't have mitigations, right? If they have mitigations, they'll live, but like if they don't have mitigation, that first initial S3, especially if I can get an attack up, like they're dead, like 100%. So this is my Sylvan Sage. We have a Bunny Dom. Don't really use her. I used to ban her a lot, but she is geared just in case I need to use her. But because of how squishy she is and how low ER she is, I have to use her aggressively, right? She is built to be used aggressively. She's 260 speed, so ideally she gets used in a more aggro setting versus a slower draft or like a counter draft. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I use her every now and then into see Lilias. To the people that still, for some reason, are still coping and trying to pick see Lilias. I don't know. Apocalypse Ravi, who I guess with the new vampire chick is officially dead and gone and will never be relevant after this point. She is a good anchor in the right situations. I do have her geared more towards for damage, but yeah, still really good anchor in some, you know, more aggro play styles. Or if they build their team very low damage, she can still work out really well. Also, that mask or that weapon is so scary looking from down there. Like, it was like, I was looking at it and I was like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. But yeah, those eyeballs. Assassin Cartuja, he is just there to give a little barrier with the protector set and to get evasion. So anti-cleave unit, that is essentially all he's there for. Designer Lilibet, another unit that's probably going to be dead after their changes to the vampire chick, because yeah, she just won't be able to cleanse at all. But her gear has never changed. This is her build at the current moment. She's on a damage artifact. I always do that, but Anyway, that's her gear. Infernal Kawazu, very, very good into some Navy Captain Landies, like, but I just ban her. I don't want to have to deal with her, but I did use him to deal with Navy Captain Landies. Or even some like Lionheart Cermias even. So, there's that. ML Ken, I changed his gear a little bit for him to have some effect resistance so that I can pair him with Christy and then he'll have enough effect resistance to resist almost or basically anything and everything. But yeah, this is my ML Ken. I hope he gets the next like ML skin. Like I really would like him to get a skin. I think that'd be really cool. Needed a Calric. Unfortunately, he kind of fell off because of the amount of control turn reset units that exist in the game now that can just shut him down, right? But again, he's still a very good unit to have just in case, like in the back. Just have him in your closet, you know, to pull out when needed, right? Strays. Love strays. Don't really use him too much though. His crit is low. I wanted him to be fast. I was trying to get him to be the same speed as my Architect Laika, so they're both like 260 or so speed. But the only way I could get him even close to that is by lowering his crit rate. So, oopsie, don't really know what to do about that. Again, he doesn't necessarily have the best gear in the world, but he is still usable. I just have to RNG hope I crit. Abyssal U Fine. Yeah, as you can see, I did use this unit a lot in the Insight season, but I kept having issues with her for the most part. Like I was losing a lot as well, so you know, it is what it is. Maybe I'll get better at drafting her in the next season, but then again, with that new vampire chick, I don't even know if she's going to be relevant in the next season, because how is she going to ever S3 if she can't get Fighting Spirit? So yeah, yikes. Remnant of Violet, a really good like anchor slash pocket pick, I guess. In the right situation, I've seen him use a lot to deal with Abyssal Euphines, because she kind of just feeds into him and then he one-shots her, so there's that. Briar Wish Iceria, one of the best units in the game because of her just usability, right? She does a lot. I do want to change her build at some point, lower her attack, and give her more speed, and then give her like 100 effectiveness so that she does actually land all her debuffs, right? Still full, like a damage build, but like with some effectiveness so that she does actually hit all of her debuffs and not reliant on ignore, ER, slow burn. Rowana, love this unit. Very, very fun to use when I do get to use her. I've been using her during the preseason with like Zio and things like that, but very fun. Love this unit. I know a lot of people think she needs a buff, but I don't know. Her only buff that would make sense is like decreasing buff durations or something like that on her S3, but then if they did that, I think she'll be a little too overpowered. So it's very hard to buff a unit like this when, you know, she kind of can become the most broken unit in the game if they were to make a simple change like that. So it is what it is, right? Because she could be built with stupid high effectiveness, like 300 effectiveness, like triple hit set. So it's kind of like, I don't know if they want to implement a change like that or a buff like that because it could very much break the game for cleavers and things like that. Then we have Spectre Tenebria. She is here. She is relevant. She still well, I don't think she's relevant, I should say. You kind of have to ban both Navy Captain Landy and Abyssal Euphine if you're going to use Spectre, and then just ban the Belian in draft. That's how you have to use her, right? She can't deal with those units. She can't deal with the Navy Captain Landy because she can't crit Navy Captain Landy, and then the counterattacks to the AoE thing shenanigans. That's very hard to deal with. And Abyssal Euphine just does a ton of AoE damage, so it's just Spectre Tenebria just cannot deal with the current meta units, but maybe there might be a new draft when you use Spectre Tenebria plus other things to better use her, but yeah. She's still geared though. She does still have this sword that has 21 speed, because why not? Don't know who else to give it to. We have my Zio, this was my ML selector from the web event, or not the web event, but I guess the login headhunt. That's what it is. He's who I selected for this because I got so sick and tired of having to gear my account around dealing with Zeos that I was like, I just need to get Zeo because I don't I need the unit. I need the tool so I don't have to like gear my account around dealing with Zeo. And now I like Giraffe Zeo in almost every single game. So I don't have to deal with it. So yay, there's that, right? And then we have my Death Dealer Ray, another MVP for me. Love this unit, so much fun. Um, Probably going to triple S him, right, with imprints and things like that, because I just really, really like this unit. I want to give him the best of the best gear. Like, I'm trying to get him to, like, similar stat lines, but, like, 250 speed, like, something crazy, with, like, 200 effectiveness still, right? Would love this unit. He's a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun to have and to play. So yeah, that's my account review. Those are all my units that I really use this season. I obviously have more units, but they weren't necessarily units that I use in this season or like RTA units and things like that that I would use in this season because their gear isn't that good. But again, my gear is kind of all over the place, as you can see. But yeah. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out.